Okay, hey everybody, we are back now for more of Facebook for your marketing efforts. And in this session, we are going to talk about Facebook Messenger and making connections and building relationships through that tool because it's very powerful. Just looking at people's posts and commenting and liking and loving posts will only get you so far. That is good for engagement. It's good for letting people know that you are there. It's good when people interact with your post because then you know there is some type of an interest in the content that you're sharing. But you really can't have a conversation with somebody through your post, right? So we need to move over to the Facebook Messenger realm and reach out to somebody that you now have a new connection with, whether they're a new friend on your page, whether they liked your post, or whether you liked one of their posts and they seem to be the type of person that you would want to get to know more and that you might want to do business with, right? So first of all, in the notes here, just keep this in mind, okay? You are still in Facebook, which is what? A social media platform, right? And so you can do a lot more to build your relationship in the Messenger realm, but really just keep in mind it is still a social media platform. People want to get to know you. They do not want to be hit with your link or your offer, okay? I was on a messenger with somebody today, a new connection, a new friend on Facebook, and they reached out to me. They wanted to connect, and I looked at their profile. I learned a little bit about their content, what they do. They look like they're an entrepreneur, maybe fairly new in the online industry. And so I accepted their friend request and I started a conversation. And you'll see here in a minute because I'm going to show you a couple different conversations. And I just said, hey, it's great to meet you. How are you doing today? That's something that you would normally ask somebody brand new that you meet, right? And the first thing that I got from this person was a very long copy and pasted message that says every little thing you could ever imagine you didn't want to know about someone's business and were afraid to ask, right? So I got this really long message. I kind of looked at it. I could see there's a link there. And I replied back and said, hey, I hope things are going well. I didn't click their link. I didn't really respond directly to that whole gigantic message, which really just felt like spam, frankly. And I'm not an easily offended person, and so I don't really have a real problem with that. However, it does not make me really want to jump into their business and just kind of buy everything that they're selling, right? Because I don't know them and they don't know me, and they really don't know if what they have to offer is something that might be of interest to me before they send me their link, right? So, one of the things that I do, like I mentioned, is I take a long look at their Facebook profile. I look at a few of their posts. And when I say long, I mean like, a few, maybe 30 seconds to a minute or so. I want to really see they're a person. I want to see where they live. I want to see what their background is. And I want to see the kind of content that they're putting out there, okay? There's certain people that I like to try to do business with, and I'm sure that in your business, you have the same type of what would be your ideal prospect or the type of person that you think that you want to work with, right? So, one of the things that I try to do in Messenger is I try to find real common ground. If I saw something on their profile about their work or their interest or their family or their travel or their lifestyle, or even their business, I'll make a comment about that. I'll ask them a question. One person that I just recently connected with, their profile says they are a school teacher. So I asked this person, hey, how did you get into teaching? What do you think about it now that you've been involved for a while? We had a little conversation and she shared about that. And so this is a type of person that I think, based on the conversation, I could say, hey, do you ever look at doing business for yourself? Because sounds like teaching is really good, really awesome. But maybe you're able to help more people in a different way too. So there's different ways that you can kind of segue in to something that you might have to offer. But what you really need to do is listen for clues, things like their pains and their needs and their goals, right? And you want to kind of determine in your own mind before you ever mention it to them that they might or might not be a good fit for your property, for your opportunity, or for your product or services that you're offering. And you also want to get a good sense that they're the type of person that would be a good fit for you. And you also want to get a good sense that they are the type of person that will be a good fit for you, right? So at that point, I usually will segue into, hey, I might have something that could help with that. Or, hey, you know what? I do business online. I love to share it with people. This may or may not be for you, but it sounds like it's something that could be of interest to you. Can I share some information? I usually ask permission. Unlike the person that I mentioned in the conversation that was very short, I said, hey, how are you doing today? Nice to meet you. And then I got the long message about their business without even really having any conversation. I don't like to do that. Some people are turned off by that. For me, I'm kind of used to it, so I can get past it, but I'm really not going to just buy into something without getting to know somebody first. Okay? And then, all right, it's okay if you just want to meet and see if someone in Messenger is even interested, if they're just looking for a new friend, if they are wanting to chat because you connected with them. Some people will send kind of some weird stuff in Facebook Messenger too. And you have to determine if you're even going to interact with that. It's okay to just let somebody go. If they don't look like they're going to be your prospect, if they don't look like they're going to be an actual friend, it's okay to let that go, right? So let's move into looking at some sample conversations that I've had here recently, and then you'll know a little bit more about what it looks like. Okay, here we go. So this is my profile. You've seen this before, but what I haven't showed you before are some of the messenger windows, and you guys are familiar with this, I'm sure. You probably communicate with family and friends this way as well. But to have some real type of prospecting slash getting to know you slash business conversations, what we want to do is be able to share some information. But before we do that, we want to get to know somebody, like I said. So, for example, this gentleman here reached out to me on Facebook, and I friended him after looking at his profile. He's actually from a different country, which is totally fine. And I asked him, hey, how are you doing? You can see right here in my messenger, he says, no problem. And you? And I said, I'm doing well. I'm working on a couple business projects and I'm having a nice weekend. How about you? He tells me right away he manages a small business. And I said, hey, that is great. What type of business do you manage? And so we go on talking about his business. And he asked me where I am. I told him I'm in the US. I usually don't tell people, especially new people from other countries, where I live, obviously, but on my profile it says I live in the city in the state that I live in. But if someone doesn't take the time to go look at that, I just usually give them a general, I'm in the US. And so that kind of helps us each know a little bit more about where we're coming from, right? And so, I asked him, hey, do you ever think about selling products online besides just your store? And he said, no, he doesn't sell things online. It's a small business. And he's just doing it really to manage his life. So what that tells me is he's working full time, managing a business, a small business, and he's just kind of in survival mode, probably making just enough to get by. And I did end up talking with this gentleman. I actually got on a Facebook call with him, and we had a nice conversation. Sometimes the language and cultural barriers, talking with people from other countries, are a little bit of a hurdle to overcome, but still, you can talk with people and get to know them very well. And then you can say, hey, this might be something that that could be something for you. I don't know, but would you like to take a look? So really what I do is I go on to talk about just gently about starting business, helping people. He finally asked me, how do you do that? And so I shared an opportunity with him very lightly. I just said, hey, I'm glad you asked. This is something I do that helps people from all over the world learn how to earn money online and do business. And so basically, what happened is he showed an interest. We decided to talk on the phone, and I sent him some information about one of my opportunities, and he liked it. He says, "Hey, I watched the video." And I didn't try to do a whole bunch of explanation beyond that. I said, was that interesting to you? Do you have any questions? It's a simple way to start business. And he says, believe it or not, yes, it's interesting to me. And then he had some questions. So I went on to answer his questions, and we got on the phone and we talked, and I'm going to be following up with him to get him some more information. So that was a really good conversation. This person right here is actually someone that I've been connected with on Facebook for a while. And I did a post recently. So this is kind of a different type of conversation. Um, Let me find where it starts here. Okay. She reached out to me the other day and asked me a question. And she commented on one of my posts. And so I said, hey, Beverly, it's great afternoon. How are you doing today? You asked about the information on my post, and I want to send you a brief video. And I said, just be very important. Is that okay with you? Right? So I asked her, is that okay with you? And she said, hey, I'm in a meeting. Hope your day is great. Send video, please. Okay. So now I have permission to say, hey, this is some information that you asked about on one of my posts, and you said it was okay to send you this video. So I just sent her that video. She said, thanks. And she's going to look at it later, right? All right. So here's another conversation. This one is brand new. This is a person that I really literally just met. And I mentioned to you in the opening of the video, who is a teacher. And she reached out to me. I connected with her, and she said, hey, thank you so much. I said, it's great to meet you. How are you doing? That's pretty much how I start just about every conversation in Messenger with a new person. I don't ever just say, hey, have you ever looked at ways of making money, right? Because again, this is a social platform. This is a way to meet people and then sort of find out if they are the right person and the right fit for you, and if your business is even a good fit for them. So in this conversation, she says, thanks for your reply. I'm good. I'm preparing for school. Well, I've already looked at her profile, and so I know she's a school teacher. So I said, okay, you're a teacher, correct? She said, yes, I am. How about you? So I tell her a little bit about myself, what I do for work, what I do for business. So this person actually dropped a love on my reply, which I thought was really cool. She wasn't turned off by it. Sounded like it resonated with her. So the next thing she said was, wow, that's good. You're busy. I dropped a love on that one, sort of to follow her lead there. And I just told a little bit more about myself. Yeah, I try to balance my time with my family. And then I said, what got you into teaching? And she hasn't answered that yet, but she's responding to the family part of the conversation here, where she says, it's nice to have family. I love my mom. So we're learning a few things about each other, okay? So this is sort of a sample conversation that I want to be able to encourage you not to, sort of overdo it or spend hours and hours just kind of having small talk with people, but to have a few minutes of a conversation enough to kind of determine whether or not that person is looking for something in their life, whether they might even be open to hearing something about whatever it is that you have to offer, whether it's a service, whether it's a product or a business opportunity. You really want to be able to find that out before you blast that information over to them, right? So I really hope this helps you. In the next video, we're going to talk a little bit more in depth about some more Facebook marketing strategies. And later on, we're going to include paid Facebook advertising and even chatbots, because these two tools, although they're very different than the organic type of Facebook use and strategy that we've already been talking about, they're very effective in certain ways. So I hope you've enjoyed this session, and I'll see you in the next one.